Yo. What up? What is up? Let's get it. Let's rally, man. Let's rally with the family. Let's do it. What is up? DR No. How you doing, man? Nico's, Joe, Alex, Tickles, John, Aldo, Carlo. What is up? Mikey, Kevin, JM. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Let's do it, man. Let's rally. All right, what do we got going on here? All right, guys. Ethereum Classic is going up again. We are tracking a similar fractal here to Ethereum Classic. I'm going to pull it up. Here we go. All right, so these are similar levels that are being hit and respected. There is a zone here that we are tracking, a small POI that we're tracking to potentially hit that level of resistance that we are tracking now. The thing to consider going into tomorrow and Thursday is that we do have a bit of a clock over that can happen, and that is looking for the $21, $20, $50 range is a possibility before taking a small breather back down. I talked about how this setup right here, okay, there hasn't been a volatility event yet, and typically when there's pressure like this accumulating, this does not call for downside yet. Okay, so I'm waiting for this is kind of a bear trap here. Okay, a lot of people, even though it's a possibility, okay, a lot of people are looking to to bet on the downside here, and personally I still see a bit of upside. We haven't hit resistance yet, and that is the goal here. We are tracking the POI according to the setup. Again, we are looking for 18.25 to 20 is going to be that range, but there could be a clock over to 21. All right, so again, here's that fractal that we're tracking based on the Ethereum Classic setup. And hopefully here in the next couple of minutes going into end of day, we get a small rally. If not, it is likely we get that tomorrow. But things have been playing out how we've intended them to. Okay, so we did have consolidation yesterday, and then we had the rally today. So things are playing out exactly how they played out in March. Okay, we had consolidation on Monday, and then we had a rally on Tuesday going into Wednesday, and that's exactly what's happening right now. Okay, so if we go to the macro, I'm going to pull up the volume. The volume cycle video, guys, that I posted last. Make sure you go watch that because I'm about to talk about that right now. Okay, Here it is, volume cycle. What did we talk about? We talked about how if the strategy here that the hedge funds are using, okay, the 120-day strategy in the way that these patterns are displayed, so distributed or accumulated patterns and breakouts, okay? So here we have the green portion coming up next, and that's the macro POI that we talked about. And we also talked about how these percentages, the way they play out inverse in the future, are for delta hedging purposes. Okay, so right now we have a positive. This one is actually a bit over. So here we had a negative 58% decrease here in price. And what we're looking for here is somewhere around that range, right? These are going to be, there's going to be a bit of room to work with here. They don't have to be exact. Most of these are within 1 to 2% from each other. So here, from the bottom, let's line this up here so that these guys move my stuff. All right. Right now we are at a 60% increase. Okay, from the bottom here on this cycle. And what we're looking for is the 1820 range for the POI to be hit. So it's a 65% increase here compared to the negative 58%. Now, if things start to come down, or if they were to come down, we would be making this macro projector pattern, okay? And that would be right here. This little guy would be a little projector, setting us up for this run here, okay, if things were to play out this way. And then this is where we get the macro POI, guys, which is end of July going into August. And then here, I can't tell you where the price is going to go. I can just tell you that there's volatility. So whether we go up to 30 and then come down to make a bigger projector pattern to set up for October, then so be it, right? At least there is a POI at play there, and things are looking good. Otherwise, then we should get that push up here in July, okay? But it's always good to consider both possibilities, both scenarios, because you never know, man. POIs, remember, they're just volatility zones. They're not going to predict where we're going to hit. You know, you have to use technicals for that after you come up with these zones. But so far, we are tracking pretty good here. All right. Let's see what we got here. Cool. Yes, and the SPY also. We got the SPY POI. The SPY projection we had in the Discord. I did send out some of the option plays. We were tracking a $401 call for the SPY yesterday. We picked that up, and right now those are up 300%. That was a really nice. Some guy on the stream, because I send out alerts on what I'm doing, and I exited the position today in the morning for a 110% increase. Some guy held those, and right now they're at above 300%. So congrats to Max on the Discord for that. Really nice gain there. Okay, there's a lot of positive things, guys, right now happening in the markets too, and that is we have a Mara right now is going up, and we talked about how that is one of the stocks that is sort of leading the way here in this sector rotation that is going to happen here in the short term. Mara is leading the way, and Mara is up a good bit, so that should kick things off for the next sector to come in, and there's a bunch of stocks that are going to start to rally, including AMC. All right. Yo. Let's fucking rally, man. Let's rally. Things are looking good. Things are looking good, man. Is that low volume? Oh, shit. Volume is picking up. Right. Wesley, what's up, man? Things are starting to curl back up. Ooh, SPY about to hit 392. Nice, nice, nice. Yo, yo, yo. Hang tight. How you doing? Sup? How's the boss? What is up? I don't think we're in a bear market. That's just my opinion anymore. I think the correction has been set. I did talk about how the low was in my opinion, right? It doesn't mean that the low is in, but that is what I'm projecting just based on certain different things going on. Crypto is turning back. Again, a lot of these sectors are starting to rally again. Markets have been beat down to very low levels. Okay. We also have, we talked about this on the Discord too, that, you know, and some guy brought it up and saying that we do have elections coming up too. And typically you do see the markets rally prior to elections. So end of year, typically towards the end of the year, starting July, you start to see the market turn around. 7 months of just downward pressure. I think it's time things start to, you know, flip back to the positive, in the positive direction. So I do see us turning back. Amy's looking really good. Yeah, ooh, KC, man. I love that dude. Love that guy. I don't. So it's possible we see sideways trading, but it like I said, the POI here. I mean, the POI is happening as we speak, but the fact that we are so close, all right, to, and you can look at this in you could look at this however you want, okay, but the average here at least would be to come up to the 1825 range and hit that level of resistance, because you can draw a lot of trend lines here, all right, and some of these are smaller than others, right, depending on where you draw these trend lines. But this does suggest that at least on an average you would hit that 1825, potentially the 20 if you have a similar scenario to what happened back here in March, where you had that clock over, right, to 34. So it depends. If we do get a short attack here, I don't see us going below the $16 range, like in the next couple of days. We could, going into next week, let's say we got this here tomorrow. Say we go up to 1825, we start coming back down. It's possible that we hit this level down here later, maybe going into the 25th. All right, next week, and then right here we set up for a massive run. Okay, that would be ideal. And that is what we're kind of tracking here. Yeah, man, appreciate you. Appreciate you all for coming in and chilling here with the squad. All right, having some rallies. Hopefully AMC starts to turn around here in the short term. That would be great. All right. So a couple of things I guess we can look at. See if I have it here. Here's GameStop. A couple of things to note on GameStop, guys, if you are on GameStop. So one thing that I brought up to the chat was, I'm going to pull it up here because we're going to compare both AMC. Using this percentage perspective here in price action, you can tell that GameStop had larger return here on this May event here that took place, right? So right now it's trading above AMC, and they haven't quite been on the same percentage scale. So what that means is that whatever happens next on this level of resistance that we hit, it's likely that we will get a breather, but it's also, it would kind of make sense that after the split that happens, AMC or GameStop kind of goes through this short-term dip to this range down here. Looking at it from, this is asymmetrical Judge Dabia, right? You could say this is also a little head and shoulders pattern. Okay, but it is possible that after that catalyst here, okay, because it is expected to be like considered a good catalyst, but a lot of the times with splits, shorts do take advantage of that downward pressure. Okay, just naturally, like you're gonna see in the markets, and I don't know why they do this, but with splits, you actually see the stock open up negative. It'll say like negative 90% or whatever the split was. I think that's kind of shitty, but they do that regardless. So that might scare some people, and shorts might jump in on that and take advantage of that opportunity. So I would be a little skeptical about that for that catalyst. Okay. And it might bring the pressure down. So it would make sense for AMC to have the POI met here in the next 2 days for that reason, because if GameStop starts to come back down, that's going to bring AMC down as well. Now, it's not going to bring it down the same way, but it's still going to affect the direction it goes. Okay, so that is what I'm looking at here for GameStop. Again, I don't think it's going to affect AMC greatly like GameStop, but we do see a small dip to the 15-20 range on that dip, and then a setup here for end of July. So I think it'll be a fake out. It'll be a bear trap for GameStop, and then for AMC, well, it's just going to be respecting and establishing levels of support. So it's just, remember, staring its way up. Okay, easy setting up for a rip. You guys know how GameStop went up before it reached 500. It made a broadening wedge before setting up here and going. All right, so we have a similar setup, not quite the same, but you have that slow and steady pressure building up here. All right. All right, so AMC is at 1691 so far. What do we got here? Let's go to draw some lines, bro. This is a parallel zone so far. Actually, we are currently at support on this trend line. And here we would need a reversal, a quick reversal. Come back up just like we did back here. Something like this. Okay, all of these are quick reversals. Okay, hold up. There is some pressure. Some pressure down. How's the SPY doing? SPY's doing pretty good. Okay, SPY reached the level of support that or resistance that we talked about. So it might take a breather here. We were talking about 392 or 393 to be hit today, and we got that right now. So there is some resistance here, and there should be a small breather. There's still room for a reversal here. Like that. But if we stay up below this range, then we should be going up tomorrow. Joe, what is up? Stabby, what's up? All right, AMC is kind of crossing this zone here rather quickly, so I'm looking for it to maintain this level at the 1680 level. If it does cross below that, then the 1670 would be the next level of support. Okay, let's look at that fractal we were talking about here. Where is it? Nope, not that. Here's the projector pattern. Okay, also calling for a similar level at the 1825. Guys, it is possible that this was the level it wanted to hit. Also consider that if the trend line was crossing and they wanted a quick reversal back down, a quick bounce back down, this could have been the level. So if that is the level that is hit, then this is where we might see some downward pressure here in the short term. But again, I still believe that once you have enough pressure building up, there's one final event that brings the price up very quickly. You see a lot of volume flow in before coming back down. Let's see how many days we have left on that volume cycle setup. How much volume is remaining here. So there's 1.3 billion so far out of the 1.56. And we have this week left. 3 days to split that. That would be about 100 million every single day. Which is a lot. It's a fuck ton. Yeah, dude, 100 million a day is a lot. That's why I'm telling you guys, if there's going to be a one-day event where we have, over 100 million in volume, kind of like what happened on the 28th. The 28th, we saw 226 million in volume. Okay, we haven't seen anything like that yet. This pressure is barely building up. 226 million in volume looks like this. All right? Okay. Now, I'm not saying we're gonna get 226 million, but it would make sense to get back-to-back days around the 100 million range. So, you know, today going into tomorrow would be ideal. It's probably trying to sustain this fill right here, this gap fill, before coming back up again. It's also a possibility. All right, okay, so I can see something right off the bat. This is the arc pattern, okay? So I'm going to track this real quick, pull it up here. That is going to help us out. It's definitely going to help us out. Okay, let's go on the 1 hour. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, it's this pattern right here. What is going to guide us a little bit as to what could potentially happen here intraday. Some of these patterns end up giving up very quickly, but some do track for quite a bit of time. So this is the pattern I'm talking about. It's almost, I mean, guys, look at how fucking perfect that is. That pattern, okay, starting right here. Now, if this were to happen, okay, we would double bottom here, come back up, and then into tomorrow. See how we have this guy right here? That's considered a short-term POI. Based on just fractal analysis. Okay, so fractal analysis is one thing that considers this whole cycle analysis and how the points of interest get picked up. And then everything else, guys, the option chain, other cycles rotating in the markets, all of that has to do with cycle analysis. Fractal analysis is one of the things that we consider, and this right here is just something to consider on this next push up. Because it could be a drastic push, just the fact that we have fractal volume right here. Not a nice pattern, I understand. Yes, I know. But it is something to track just in case. I'm going to leave it here, and we'll come back to it here in a little bit. All right. Where the magnets at? We do need to draw some magnets for sure. This is Amy's, yeah. Okay, arc pattern. There's another one we could track too. There's a couple. Okay, the arc patterns happen on every single time frame, and that is not the only one. That's just the one I found to be probably the more accurate one. We're probably right here. Okay, so it might do something like that. Okay, but I'm still gonna take this other arc pattern. Okay, because this one is definitely going to be accurate as well. And it's obviously, it's a little bit different. I know the ranges of where to look at, where typically the pattern starts to turn or play inverse, and that does typically happen right at this peak right here. It starts to sort of do its own thing. So we'll see. I'll bring it up here. Okay, so you guys can see that right here. And then we got one more range here. The cool thing about this, guys, is that you can get natural fib levels. I talk about that a lot. All right, what this gives you is levels of support and resistance that you wouldn't really think to look at just, you know, using fib channels or drawing lines and stuff. That's why I like patterns, looking at patterns a lot, because those are zones that typically are respected. So somewhere around here, the 1650 range, if this pattern continues to track, we should see some sort of resist or support right here to come back up. Obviously, you have to line it up with the high and the low. So the high would be right here, and then the low be right around here, right around the 1665. We might have hit it right now. We might start to come back up and build this pressure. All right, let's see. Leave that pattern there again. Hefty dip, man. All right, let's look at something. I'm going to pull up the POI here on the website because I also track that. That is something I use, a tool I use for tracking the POIs. It's more of a visual thing. Remember, these are things that it's a cycle analysis study, and then you select a zone or a range, time range and price range where the price is likely to gravitate towards based on that analysis setup here. So I'm going to pull up that real quick and see how that's doing. All right, so here's that right here, the website, interactive charts. Go to AMC. It's free. Anybody can use this. And then here is that POI based off of cycle analysis. So if you play it out, we are currently right at that level. Okay, that range would have been from 1650 all the way up to 1825, which is what we were hoping for. This might go into tomorrow again to hit that 1825 before coming back down. So that would be considered the POI here, okay? And then remember, if things do play out based off of this volume setup that we talked about and this volume cycle, then we should have a larger increase here in the next couple days. $20 range. Infamous Amy pattern. Infamous Amy pattern right here. And look at that, guys. Look at that. This tool, by the way, if you get to study cycle analysis with individual stocks and you're the type of person that likes to like day trade, this is probably the best way to go. Just because of, you know, again, how accurate these patterns are, man. Very accurate patterns. And if you're the type of person that likes to day trade, I don't recommend, or this is not financial advice or anything with that, but especially with AMC, I don't I don't fuck with that. But again, if you find cycles happening around other stocks and really study how that stock behaves, you're gonna find a lot of fractals happening intraday that do happen on the macro scale. And it's a good tool. It's a really good tool for entry and exit positions. All right, so I think we're getting, like, GameStop just took a dump, like a pretty massive dump. So I think that's affecting AMC right now. Which is weird, because the SPY is holding up pretty well for that. Holding up really well. Oh no. Let's see if we can find this larger scale here. A lot of patterns that have this set up. Oh, wow. Okay, so you guys can see this. Okay, not the same pattern, but very similar support and resistance levels. And that is all we need. All we need. Okay, so here you would see that if we were to take this pattern and trace it to get these levels, you would probably get that $16 range. We'll be right up here. Wait. Exactly where we're, there we go. I took the wrong one. Alright, so there's your low, there's your high. What do we have here? 1570, okay. And then right back here, the 1520. Now, you don't pay attention, or I'm personally not paying attention to this fractal at all. I'm paying attention to the support and resistance levels that are being hit, because the POI here is right here. The macro POI is right here. So based on this setup, what could happen is we get this mini projector pattern here, and we bounce right here at around this range here next week. Start climbing back up. So I'm not worried at all about this dip. At all. right, let's see. How's the rest of the market looking? We're going to get a lot of answers here tomorrow with Tesla earnings. There is, based on the cycle rotation setup, okay, we do have Mara leading the way, and then typically after Mara, we do get some of the EV stocks having their turn. So, see what happens there. Ooh. All right, 1660 was hit. We're starting to trace back up here now. All right, there's a nice candle. Okay, so it's a couple of possibilities here, guys. If the market starts to reverse back here, and the market is looking good right now. So the thing is, AMC and GameStop have definitely gotten shorted here quite a bit. Okay, so it's two things could happen just based on this fractal, is that we do trade, you know, around this range here for a little bit. Possibly even come down here to the 1635 range for the rest of the day. And then going into tomorrow or after hours, that would be the test on that short-term POI here to reach the 1825 level or above. And then after that, we do set up for the macro POI next week. Next week is when we should have that major run that I've been talking about here, okay? So other than that, I mean, things are looking really good. Slow and steady, man. Wins the race. Right here. Boom. You kind of have to look at things from the macro here and see, yo, this would kind of make sense. I mean, we've done it multiple times back here. Very small dip, nothing big. This would be acceptable, and there's a lot of fractals that do suggest a setup like this. Yeah, you're right. The ticker price is messed up. There we go. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to send this out here for those that are not in on the Discord. I do send out alerts on there, typically before I do on Twitter. So if you want some alerts and stuff on the setups, make sure you join the Discord. It's very simple. There's just a chat and then a For You page where I just post like videos and the setups and stuff like that. Check it out. Okay, so this is the deal. We are just, again, based on the setup and just kind of what I see, I do expect things to just stay on this and that fractal, stay on this range. I don't, just after this drop, guys, I don't see much happening right now in the short term unless there's a massive V reversal, some sort of a catalyst or something that is set up specifically for the cycle to play out this way. But as of now, we have hit that high of 1782. And if we continue to respect and bounce off of these levels of resistance, we should see one more push up tomorrow. And this is kind of what I got so far. So I am going to be sending out some alerts on the Discord. And keep an eye out for a video. We'll be coming out later today talking about the setup and the correlation with Ethereum Classic. Okay, because that is huge. It's a huge breakthrough too. And we're going to be using that for the next possible moves that are happening here in the short term, all right? So make sure you guys join the Discord as well. Check that out. Some nice stuff there, all right? We'll see you guys soon.